So for EngInYard, we see the opportunity as so large that we're not particularly worried about any one competitor. There are lots of different entrants into the marketplace. I suppose in the long run, perhaps we might compete with Force.com from Salesforce, or a technology called Azure from Microsoft. And ultimately, we're delivering an integrated platform as a service, and we think there's a huge market for that, so that's why we're so excited. One of the things that distinguishes EngInYard is that we base our platform as a service on a lot of open source components. Open source components are great because they're built by a diverse group of programmers around the world, and they can contribute freely to improving the technology. The advantage of that is that we have a virtual corporation creating the technology that we then integrate, serve up to our customers and support. And what we do is we make it, if you will, safe to go in the water. So technology that might not be ready for prime time, with our integration and our support and our other services, we make it ready. The economics are better for the customer, the results are good for the customer, and ultimately it's less expensive and it's open, which means the customers can move anywhere they want and run the applications. They can do it in-house, they can run it on another technology platform if they want, and there's no technology lock-in, which is really one of the advantages that most of the clients want. It was too long.
Yeah, I think you can say that in a much more concise, 15-second response that just says other people are trying to limit your choices as a developer when you work with yours.
Other companies delivering a platform as a service tend to focus on a lock-in or proprietary technology. EngInYard focuses on open source. We integrate that and make it ready for prime time, and that's what our customers like. Cloud computing is going to be the biggest thing we've seen in 30 years. I liken it to as big as the advent of the IBM PC. I think there's probably $500 billion to $1 trillion in revenue that will change hands or be available in the market as it develops. So I think cloud computing changes everything. I have more to say on that, but I thought I would stop. How much education do you want me to do? I mean, a little more? Well, I was going to highlight the fact that now you can just plug into the wall and you get a whole data center. And then I was going to say, but that by itself doesn't solve your problem. What you need for the cloud to be successful are applications. And where do you get those? You build them with an application development platform, which is what we deliver.
I think there's value in that. We can kind of boil it down to a pretty concise, ABC, and it's not a long, sprawling thing that would be difficult to follow for somebody who's not at all technical.
Yeah.
I would really like that.
Well, let's see if I can do it. Who knows?
I think you can.
So cloud computing delivers a data center through the internet. But a data center by itself doesn't solve business problems. So what you need is to put a platform as a service for developing applications on top of that, and that allows development teams to build applications that then allow businesses to consume cloud computing. And that's why it's so important.
So I would like to dive into a little bit more detail on how EngInYard is supporting the growth of open source software.
EngInYard supports open source pretty aggressively. We embed a number of open source components in our platform as a service, but we also have about a dozen engineers that work full-time delivering technology to open source communities. We also support 40 different open source projects, and around the world we support 33 different Ruby on Rails user groups in 4 continents. So open source is a big part of our history, and it's going to be a big part of our future going forward.
I've read a few things about adoption rates for Ruby, and I mean, should we
No, it's too complicated.
It's hard for me to know sometimes what will resonate with people.
I mean, you can talk about Ruby and Rails, but I wouldn't necessarily get into the JRuby and the nuances of how that works with Java. It's just too.
I think Pete actually was going in the same direction yesterday when we talked to him. It's just not going down that path.
Is there any value in the business model aspect of it?
Well, so people ask me about Ruby on Rails, and what you could say is, well, what about Ruby on Rails? And I would say, people ask me about Ruby on Rails, and I would say it's by far and away the most productive development framework. It's called Agile. Development teams can produce 3 to 5 times more successful applications in the same time with Ruby on Rails that they can with other technologies. So that's why we prefer it. Over the long run, perhaps we may support other development stacks, but today Ruby on Rails is a very, very deep vertical, and we're going to stay focused on that.
Did you get anything to do that?
We did it, might have been Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, your eyes were just wandering again.
I can't help it. I'm shifty. I'm trying to address the audience.
Educate me for a minute. So when people ask about the languages that you're supporting, what do you tell them?
For the EngineYard platform as a service, the core is Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails is an agile development framework for building applications. It's far and away the most productive development framework. Ruby on Rails, I should stop. Ruby on Rails is far and away the most productive development framework. Studies indicate that development teams can produce applications in 3 to 5 times less time than it takes in other development environments. So that's why we support Ruby on Rails. That was okay. At EngineYard, we see cloud computing growing rapidly. We don't see any lack of market demand. And what happens as cloud computing becomes more mature and as EngineYard offers more and more services, it'll be easier and easier for companies of all sizes to adopt the technology. And that's really what our focus is to continue to serve a growing and expanding need amongst the user community. And as long as we do that, we're very comfortable with the size and opportunity of the business. I probably did. It's okay. EngineYard optimizes and manages the application development stack. We allow development teams to build, deploy, and manage applications on any cloud at any scale. We save them money, we get their applications to market sooner, and they love it.
I like that. Oh, that's great. Okay. Tell me, we're going to do, and I don't think we'll make
At EngineYard, we optimize and manage the application development stack. We eliminate infrastructure, we provide application services, and we allow development teams to build applications that will run on any cloud at any scale. We make their lives a lot easier, and they love it. My paper?
Yeah, it's better in right before you die.
Okay, take the paper away.
we're learning a lesson about paper.
Okay. At EngineYard, we provide and manage an application development framework for building applications. We allow development teams to concentrate on development. We provide application services. We eliminate overhead and infrastructure headaches. The application development teams can build applications that can run on any cloud at any scale, and they simply love it. It saves time, it saves money, and it delights the end users.